Hello scrappers, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about a couple things quickly. It's going to be a short video, I think. First thing I want to talk about is what makes more sense, scrapping out an item versus trying to resell it. And you can't always resell an item. You can try though, and quite often you can make a lot more money by reselling an item than you can by scrapping it out. Now remember, scrap is the lowest value of any item. If you're scrapping it out, you're just going to get the value of whatever precious metals are in it. Maybe there's some aluminum, maybe there's some copper, whatever. But, you know, maybe you can sell it to somebody who needs it for more money than you could scrap it out for. And the next thing I want to talk about is care and completeness when you are taking apart equipment. Because sometimes the parts are more valuable than the whole. Say you're scrapping out a bunch of old computers, sometimes there's parts in those computers that are still worth a lot of money even if nobody wants the computer, okay? So, case in point, I got some PC cards here, okay? So these cards came out of some old computers. These cards actually were part of the box. In fact, all this stuff was actually part of the box that Nick sent me in a recent mail call video, and I'll put a link to that in the upper right hand corner, and you can check out that video if you like. Nick sent me a huge box full of great stuff. Really appreciate it, Nick. And some of this stuff is stuff I set aside to just look at. You know, most of the stuff in that big box is getting scrapped out. It's obviously scrap. Good stuff, lots of gold plating, gold fingers, gold pins, lots of good stuff in there, IC chips, you name it, good stuff. But some of it I set aside to see if it would be, you know, make more sense to resell it rather than scrap it out. And so I set aside all this stuff and I carefully researched it online to see what this stuff is reselling for. So we got some PC cards over here. So these came out of some computers that Nick scrapped. And you know, the computers themselves may have been junk. Nobody wants them. Okay, maybe they're old Pentium systems, maybe even 386 or 486 systems, who knows. They could have been even original, you know, PCAT systems, some of them. Okay, the computers, maybe not worth much, maybe a little bit on the retro computing market, possibly, but not much, depending on their condition. But some of these cards, it's a different story. You know, we'll start out at the low end. This is a HP SAS card, basically for, as I understand it, setting up a RAID array with SATA drives is what this is for. So, okay, and it is reselling for $6 to $7 online. You can get this card. I may get a few more bucks for it because I have the daughter board that plugs in here. There were two or three, I think, three of these SAS cards in the box that Nick sent me. And only one of them is fairly, you know, complete and undamaged. So I don't really have a way of testing it. So I doubt I would actually sell this. Now, I also have rules about selling. You know, if I don't know it works, I have to sell it as parts or repair only, you know. I'm not going to tell people it works if I don't know it works. I really have no way of testing this, so I'd have to sell it for parts or repair. So I'm probably not even going to get the $6 to $7 that it is going for. And my other rule is, if I can't net 20 bucks on something, it's not worth dealing with eBay and PayPal and shipping and packing and whatnot. You know, my time is valuable. I charge people a lot of money for my time when I work for them. So, you know, I need to make, you know, at least 20 bucks on something if I'm going to sell it. So I wouldn't sell this. I would just scrap this out because number one, I can't guarantee it works, and number two, I'm not going to make at least 20 bucks on it. So we'll scrap that out. Here's another card. I thought this at first was a analog to digital card. That's what it looks like, but it's actually a 4RS232 port card, 4-port serial card. So you use it in a lot of industrial machinery, industrial environments, and this is actually selling for 22 to 50 bucks. And I might be able to test this out. Now, I don't have the connector that goes on here, but I might be able to test it out, plug it in one of my computers, see that it gets recognized, drivers install, Windows says it's working properly. I can test that, If it works, I may put it up for sale because I might get $22 to $50 for it. So that's a beautiful thing right there. So that's not getting scrapped out. We'll put this back over here. We'll put this over in a scrap out pile, okay? We've got a couple Sound Blaster cards here. Now, you may not think that the old Sound Blaster cards are worth any money, but if you think that, you obviously don't know the retro computing community, because a lot of the older games that people like to run on their old computers require a Sound Blaster card, because the original IBM machines had horrible sound rendering. So that's why the Sound Blaster card was invented, to give them much better sound rendering. So a lot of those games were written to work with, you know, Sound Blaster cards. And this right here is, you know, a very in-demand card. Now, I think I told you in the last video, the one where I unpacked Nick's box, that Sound Blasters with the black solder mask are almost fully gold-plated underneath. And in fact, everything about this board is gold-plated. I mean, the back plate is gold-plated, the connectors are gold-plated. Everywhere there's no solder mask, it's gold-plated, and under the solder mask, it's going to be gold-plated on both sides. Okay? So, you know, there's a lot of gold here. It's very tempting to just scrap it out, get the gold out of it. But this card's selling for 38 to 45 bucks on eBay right now, all day. So, and again, I can test this. I can plug this in one of my old computers, test it, make sure it works, guarantee it, sell it, and make some money, more money than I'll get out of the gold. Okay, it'll be easier money than getting the gold out of this. So this doesn't make any sense to scrap. Now here's another Sound Blaster card. Now this one has some damage, unfortunately. Someone has cut the back plate off, probably to fit it into a small form factor computer where a full-size back plate wouldn't fit. That's what I'm suspecting. I've done that myself in the past to get cards into computers. Probably can't get another backplate like this, so you know that's going to hurt the value of this card. This card though only sells for $14 to $24. It's a newer card. It's not as compatible with as many systems as the older card, so you know it'd be hard to get 20 bucks out of it even if it wasn't damaged. So this could be scrapped, or I may just keep this for my own personal use in one of my retro computers, just so I have a Sound Blaster in it. So that's a possibility too. So this will, I'll either keep it if it works. If it doesn't work, I'll scrap it. Got 3 Avaya boards here. These are part of a telephone system basically that works in a PC computer. You plug these parts in, you hook your phone lines up to it, and you've got your own PBX system running on a PC computer. They still do that, but these are older cards. But the thing about older cards is, you know, in industry, they can't afford to upgrade constantly. You know, I worked in industry as an engineer for 25 plus years, and we were running really old equipment in lots of places because they just didn't have the budget to upgrade every time, you know, Intel came out with a new processor chip, every time Microsoft came out with a new version of Windows, every time Dell came out with the latest, greatest server or whatever. They couldn't afford to upgrade. So we were always keeping the older equipment working, and we were always looking for replacement parts for that older, obsolete equipment. So, you know, this stuff's old, but it's probably still in demand. So, you know, industrial equipment especially is always going to be in demand no matter how old it is. Even if it's no longer used much here in the US, somewhere out in the developing world, they're probably still using stuff that's 2, 3, 4 generations old. And some engineer somewhere is looking for a replacement part for that old equipment. So I looked up these Avaya boards. So these boards right here, these 2 are the same, and they are selling for 24 to 80 bucks a piece. That's a pretty wide range, but that's what I saw, 24 to 80 bucks. Don't know if I can really test them. I mean, again, I can plug them into one of my old PCs and see if I can get the drivers loaded and make sure that Windows is saying that, okay, everything's hunky-dory with them. But, hey, that's not too bad. This controller card here, which is another part of the Avaya system that goes with these cards, this one's selling for $20 to $97. So, you know, here we got like between, say, $70 and, I don't know, $150 worth of cards right here. So, it doesn't really make sense to try and it doesn't really make sense to scrap these out until I try to sell them. See if anybody wants them. See if somebody will pay a few bucks for them. So these are going to get put up for sale. Now, I said I had rules about selling stuff. You know, I got to make at least 20 bucks. It's got to be, I got to know that it works, or I'll sell it as for parts or repair if I know it doesn't work or can't test it and still think I'll make at least 20 bucks on it. I got another rule though. It can't hang around forever. I don't have room to hold inventory, a lot of inventory. So if I don't think something will sell in a couple of weeks, a month, I'll scrap it out rather than try and sell it just because I don't have the room. So what I will do is I will further research some of this stuff I'm planning on selling online and see how fast it moves on average, and then make a decision about whether to list it or not. So I forgot to mention that rule up front, so I'm mentioning it right now in the middle of this video. Alright, so let's move on to some of this other stuff over here. The box that Nick sent me was absolutely loaded with the memory sticks. There must have been 75 memory sticks in that box. And some of them were kind of odd. Some of them really caught my eye. I set some aside to research them and see what their value was. First off, these strange HP or Kingston memory sticks over here, they really caught my eye because of their copper heat sinks. So I set these aside and looked them up. Surprisingly though, they're only selling for $2 to $7 a piece, somewhere in that price range. And I've got 4 of them. So yeah, I mean the best I'm going to do is like 28 bucks, but I think it'll be probably closer to the lower end. So it's iffy on whether I sell these or not. But some of these others I set aside, you know, here's some HP stuff, which I thought, you know, HP stuff can be kind of weird. It can be either common or it can be rare and valuable. And this is the common stuff. These 1 gig memory sticks are selling for $2 to $3 a piece. So not worth the effort. Got some more stuff over here. This is server RAM. A lot of the stuff with the heat sinks on it is generally server RAM. And these are 2 gigabyte RAM sticks, and they are selling for $3 to $5 a piece in quantities of 4. And I just happen to have a quantity of 4 here. So, you know, could make as much as somewhere between 12 and 20 bucks on this. It's kind of iffy about whether I would want to sell it or not. Okay. Now, here's something odd. These are 2 gigabyte RAM sticks over here. And these are only 1 gigabyte RAM sticks over here. But these are selling $5 to $6 a piece, even though they're only half the density of these. Well, it's just that strange thing that older equipment sometimes is in demand because somebody's got, you know, because people have got servers in the back room that take this kind of RAM. They can't afford to upgrade. They need to replace RAM sticks from time to time. So there's demand for this older stuff. So $5 to $6 a piece. So I got 4 of them here, so that's so that's 20 to 24 bucks. So this might actually be worth listing, you know, even though individually they don't sell for much. Here's another stack of RAM sticks. These are 2 gig. These are fairly generic. There's nothing really special about them, but still they're going for $7 to 12 bucks a piece. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. 7 of them. So, you know, now they're not all identical, which is a problem because people want to buy, you know, a group of 2 or 4 or whatever identical ones. But let me see here. I might have, yeah, I might have a group of 2 and a group of 4 in there. So, you know, I could get like 28 to 48 bucks on one set and 14 to 24 on the other set if I was to resell these. So it kind of pretty much almost makes sense to resell these. Now this is an odd piece of RAM. This is, I think, RAM that's used in gaming PCs. ballistics. It's selling for $12 to $24 for a single stick. Now, it would be better if I had multiple sticks, but there's only one. Now, the computer this came out of probably had multiple sticks. So when I said up front about care and completeness when you're scrapping stuff out, you know, make sure you get all the parts and you keep the like parts together, because as a single stick, you wouldn't get as much for this as you would get if you had a set of 2 or a set of 4. You know, the price really goes up because, you know, one stick isn't going to do anybody much good unless they've got just, you know, one stick that's gone bad in their computer. But, you know, if they want to upgrade their computer, they're going to have to do it usually in sets of 2 or 4. So, completeness, make sure you get all of them. I'm sure whatever computer this came out of, there were 2 or 4 of these, or maybe even 8, who knows. Keep them together, sell them as a group, and you can get more money. These right here, these are 4 gigabytes. Getting fairly generic, getting towards the end of, you know, their useful lifespan, but there's a lot of older computers out there still. These are selling for $15 to $25 a piece, and there's 4 of them here. So, you know, if I was to sell them as a group, that's what, 60 bucks on the low end, 150 on the high end. So, yeah, that's pretty good. These are worth selling. Over here, we've got the, what is this? We're getting higher density. These are 8 gigabyte RAM sticks. Again, fairly generic, but these are selling for 23 to 35 bucks a piece. So, and again, I got a set of 4 of them. So, yeah, I put this up, I can make easily almost 100 bucks on it. Sure, I'm sure at the low end. Now we're really getting pricey. This is a 16 gigabyte RAM stick right here. Individually, they sell for $18 to $92. So, you know, that's a lot of money right there in one little piece of a RAM stick. This is not something you want to scrap. This is something you want to resell for sure. Now I've got these over here. Again, these are for the gamers who want to trick out their gaming systems and put the fancy RAM in them. So these are selling for about 70 bucks for a quantity of 4. Unfortunately, I only have a quantity of 3. And for less than 4, nobody's interested in buying these. So again, completeness. Whatever computer this came out of almost certainly had 4 of these. So, you know, you want to keep them together and sell them as a group, because that's the way people want to buy them. They want to buy them as a group. So, you know, as just a group of 3, I can maybe get 10 bucks for them. Not worth the effort. So I'm going to put this over here in the not worth the effort pile. And let's see, I'll put these over here. And put these over here. These over here. And we're getting, yeah, I'm going to put these over here. And then the rest of this stuff, I'm going to actually try to resell and make some money on. And then last but not least, we've got these things here. Now, I was a little confused about what these were. I could tell they're single board computers, but I'd never seen anything like them before, so I had to do a little research on them. These are Pentium M all-in-one single board industrial computers. They're used in all kinds of things. They're very popular. You could still buy these today. You could go, you know, to your industrial You know, it's like I said, it's care and completeness. You know, there's easily $1,000 worth of computers or more sitting right here in these 2 boards. But of course, because they're damaged and incomplete, can't really sell them. So gonna have to scrap them out. Gonna get a few bucks a board, but that's, you know, that ain't $1,000. So, you know, just care and completeness, like I've said a couple times now. Anyway, that's what I was going to talk to you about today. So we got two piles here basically. We got this stuff over here that I'm going to most likely try to resell, although I may rethink these, I may not. and this one maybe I may keep for myself. And then we got this pile over here, which gonna scrap out. Unfortunately, I hate the thought of scrapping these out, but I'm gonna have to. And then we've got all these memory sticks, and well, you'll have to watch the other video and see how many memory sticks Nick sent me. This is like just a down payment on the pile of memory sticks he sent me over there. And this card here, this is all getting scrapped out. And of course, this stuff doesn't sell in a reasonable amount of time. You know, it's just going to get moved over to the other pile and get scrapped out. So I'm going to try to make some money off of it. If I don't, you know, I'll scrap them out and just get the value of the precious metals out of them. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video at least a little bit interesting, informative, thought-provoking maybe. Give the video a thumbs up, give it a like, and subscribe to see future videos. Press that little bell icon that YouTube makes you press to be informed when future videos come out. And thanks again for watching. Bye.